Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to January 15th Market Watch. Today we have a lot of OCG stuff, which I'm really interested in. We have some Asian English as well as some regular TCG stuff. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first listing we have here is a PSA 9 DDM Black Magician Girl. I have a video specifically on this set where I cover the why these specific copy is much rarer than the other ones that you'll see. But $550, that's what it sold for, it seems, for PSA 9. I actually think that's not too bad. I think a near mint to mint complete set goes for around $1,500 to $2,000. These have issues with like whitening on the edges, and they also have issues with corners because you can see that they're actually square corners, not you see here like they're not standard YuGiOh. So yeah, I think these 9 card set is pretty fantastic. I have a set myself. Like I said, check out the video that I made on this. I go into a lot more detail. I think it's very collectible. They have a bright future ahead of them, and they're like the first full art cards that Yu-Gi-Oh ever introduced, and they have that original rarity that they have. And the back is really unique too. I wish I can show you guys, but the back is like a pink Yu-Gi-Oh I don't know, black hole, I guess. But yeah, it's really nice. I really like this set, and it's definitely a staple in any Dark Magician Girl collection. Next, we have Blue Eyes White Dragon. Um, we have DDS PSA 8 sold for 1.5k, BGS 8.5, so that's like PSA 8. I would probably equate it to that. 1,500 is not too bad, to be honest with you. I mean, I know LP goes for freaking like $1,000, so 1,500 for a near mint is not too bad at all. I think it's fair. You're definitely getting a pretty big bargain here at PSA 8s, in my opinion, especially if it's like a clean card, right? Here we have the Dual Monster Starter Box EX. So this is the second structure deck that they released in the OCG. This has this is pretty much what we got in SDK and SDY. Okay, like the contents are pretty much the exact same. The only difference is that the hollow foils are different. We got, I think, Card Destruction and Soul Exchange, and I think here they have Winged Dragon, Guardian of the Fortress, number 2. 400 bucks. It is pretty torn up, so it's definitely like an open candidate, and it's a pretty nice way to get Series 1, what's it called, like LOB art Blue Eyes. Okay, so that's the first printing of that card. I think it's pretty nice. Definitely an open candidate though, for sure. I wouldn't keep this sealed. Here we have Phoenix Enforcer, PSA 10. This looks like it's EOJ Unlimited. Sold for 1,500 USD. That's absurd, in my opinion. Yeah. I mean, congratulations to the winner. I would never pay this. Like, this is like $500 at best for me. Um, there's just way too many good things that you can get for $1,500. I mean, you can get like Summon Skull PSA 10 for this. It's just way too many better stuff. Yamato Dragon PSA 10, 650. Not bad. That's a pretty strong price in my opinion. Here we have Blade Edge Ultimate Rare, Asian English. So 250, 200, no, what is this? 25,000 yen is about like 200 bucks USD, maybe like 180. This is a pretty solid deal, man. I mean, I'll pick it up. I'll pick it up, but I don't really follow these myself, so it's hard to stay on track. But yeah, I would definitely pick this up, even if it's off center. I think it's a great binder copy. Excuse me. Here we have AE Hammond, Lord of Striking Thunder. I think Sacred Beasts are the most overrated Asian English cards, along with Pikaru and Doriado. Those cards have no. Oh, and Frog. Those cards have no business being that expensive. And yeah, like PSA 9, this is like what, probably $1,800 to $2,000. That's too high, man, for PSA 9. This is very interesting. So this is the FMR OCG side, Red Eyes Black Metal Dragon. This sold for, this is like 1,200 bucks USD, maybe even $1,000. Uh, I mean, that's a pretty good price in my opinion, because this thing is notorious for silvering. Okay, so first of all, you're not gonna get a copy that doesn't have silvering. It's just about if you can squeak by and let PSA grade it a 10 with the silvering. I don't think I've ever seen a single copy that doesn't have at least a little bit of silvering. This is a prime series 1 card, so it's not like there is no way that you're gonna find something that doesn't have issues on it. So, in my opinion, I think that this is a pretty good. Number one, it's a beautiful card. In my opinion, I think this is like one of the best looking cards ever. If you, especially if you ever get it in hand, like I highly recommend you pick one up. Even if you're not gonna pick up the OCG one, the TCG one is just as gorgeous. Yeah, Gem Mint 10. This is like $300 raw. Near mint can go up to like 500 bucks. So like Gem Mint at like 1,000 to 1,200 is not bad. Harakthi, a lot of people like this card. I'm indifferent to it. I don't really have a preference towards it, or not. I personally would not pay these types of prices for this, especially for a card that's limited to 10,000 copies. That's too much in my opinion. But I understand it's like the combination of all the god cards, right? So I get why people like it, and I get why people love Egyptian god cards. I just personally, I don't rate it. Here we have Starter Box. This is the non-theatrical version. I made a video on this specifically as well. If you're interested in viewing that, I highly recommend it. It's very, I went into a lot of depth into this product. It's the second product ever released in Yu-Gi-Oh! And in my opinion, it's one of the most iconic. This is around like $2,000 for this. This is one of those products that has not really stuttered when it comes to its price. It's been holding strong for very long. It doesn't pop up. The theatrical version is way more expensive than this. I think it's like $10,000. I mean during peak during the peak time of like inflation and Yu-Gi-Oh, I got an offer of like $21,000. So yeah, like that product is dumb rare. I think we've seen one come up for sale in the past 3 to 4 years. I'm never moving mine because I'm just never gonna find something that's as good of a condition as that one. So that one stays. But yeah, I mean, this is the unlimited so-called version, and $2,000 is pretty fair in my opinion. You're getting the first Blue Eyes ever made. So here we have AE Doriado, 600,000 yen. This is like four grand. Like this is crazy, man. Four grand for like a random ass card, PSA 9. Like that's crazy. Struggle of Chaos, 120,000 yen, and that's like 800 bucks. These boxes are definitely coming down. I'm glad to see it. It means once they get into like really cheap category, I might start opening them up so I can start pulling these alties because I really want them. Pot of Greed, PSA 10, 25th anniversary. I like this card. It's printed in OCG, that's why I like it. Otherwise, I would not even touch it. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I like it. I picked up 3 copies myself for my binder. I'm just not really paying PSA 10. I think I got mine for like 80 bucks. I think I paid like $70-$80 for this card. I'm definitely not paying 2 just for a PSA 10 label. I'm not paying double the price, so yeah. We have Mystical Elf, PSA 10, $840. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. I think that these are too cheap for what they are, but you know, they keep popping up, so until they fall into like the final hands, they're gonna keep coming down in price. Blue Eyes Tune, PSA 10, 1,800. That's holding strong. It's been holding strong at that price. I think that's pretty much where it bottoms. SDK, PSA 9, 1,200, 1,300. I personally think that's cheap, but I know that there's a lot of them, so I understand. But in my opinion, this is too cheap. Shonen Jump, Dark and Dragon, the least liked card from Shonen Jump, $3,000. This is pretty much the exact same price as PSA 10, which tells you like there's not a lot of people that are collecting these. Sorry about that. There's not a lot of people that are collecting these in PSA 10. Um, so you're pretty much buying the raw card. 260. This is crazy, man. How many of these are there? So wild. PSA 10 Ancient Gear Golem, 400 USD. I think this is expensive, to be honest, especially for the ultra rare. I mean, like, come on, man. Like 300, 400, maybe even $600 on top, you'll get like PSA 10 of the ultimate rare. Why are you buying the ultra rare? It's crazy. I think it's like $200 at best, PSA 10. Ancient Majestic Red Dragon, PSA 9, first ed, 200 is pretty much raw. Ancient Fairy Dragon, first ed, PSA 9, 200 is pretty much raw. YuGiOh Guardian, first ed, PSA 10. Oh, I would have loved to buy this. Not at $600. I think this is like maybe $500 for PSA 10. I don't rate like, like I can't spend that much on freaking alties from 5D Zero. Needleworm, near mint, $300. This is pretty much stabilized here. PSA 8s go for around this price. PSA 9s go for maybe like $100, $200 more. So it's pretty much stable at $300. Thunder Giant, $500 for PSA 10. Holy smokes, this card has crashed. Wow. That's crazy. I mean, dude, like a raw card is like $200. Holy smokes. That's crazy. Lina the Light Charmer. I love these cards. I think eventually I'll pick them up. I love the Charmer cards. I think that they look so good, especially because they're links. So you're not going to get like those hollow foil stars. The Starlight looks really nice on them. Dunamis Dark Witch. $1,600. This is a pretty good price, whoever got this. Also, what the hell's Beckett raw card review? I've never heard of this in my life. What the hell is that? Anyway, this is a pretty solid price. Whoever got this got a pretty good deal. Jinzo PSA 9, BGS 9, $670. Yeah, I mean, that sounds fine to me. It's OC as hell. That's the main problem with it. Dark Magician, PSA CGC 8, $730. It's pretty much the same price as PSA 9. PSA 8, I mean. CDIP, PSA 9, we're talking $640. That's fine. I think that's pretty fair. Flame Swordsman, BGS 9, $200. Fair. Pretty much same as what we've been seeing the past few weeks. Rainbow Dragon, Ghost Rare, PSA 9, $425. I think raw is like $300, $400, so you're not getting any premium anymore for PSA 9s, which I think is a good thing. I don't think you should be getting any sort of premium for PSA 9s because PSA 9s don't mean shit. Gate Guardian, PSA 9, first ed, $300. Same thing. Raw cards like $250, $300. Mystical Elf, PSA 9, $200. That's fine. $200, okay. Dragon Ice, PSA 10, $450. Not bad. Strong price here. Thousand Dragon, PSA 9, same thing as Gate Guardian. I like that they're leveling off though. I like this card a lot. I think it's so nice and it's extremely nostalgic, and this is a super saturated version. I'm a big fan of this. This looks incredible. Like, look at the blues. Oof, way too nice. Raigeki, PSA 9, $200. Seems like PSA 9 supers are leveling up at $200, especially the prominent ones. Here we have LOB Unlimited, PSA 10. This is crazy. Who the hell paid $1,000 for this? That's wild. Also, what's wrong with this case? Why does it look like this? I've never seen this before. Yeah. Okay, see, I knew it looked different. Yeah. Definitely weird. BGS 8, $670. Seems like CGC and BPS. This is pretty much the raw card, right? Like when you're buying a nice copy, this is pretty much what you're going to be paying. So, raw price. $500. Remember, I told you guys, I think that this envelope will level off at this price, and I'm glad that it is now. Um, I am looking for one sealed, but I think I'm going to wait a little bit more. I think it's going to drop even more, to be honest. Flame Wingman, PSA 10, Elemental Hero Collection 1, $600. I really like that this is going down. I don't know why this one goes for so much, especially when it's not even comparable to the vanillas. I think the vanillas are way more impressive. This is interesting. I'm sure you guys have seen my full art Rush Duel. So they released a full art Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which I talked about in that video. $225. This is not bad at all. I think that this is a pretty solid price. I think it's one per case that you can get this card. And it's gorgeous. Like, look at this thing, man. It's incredible. It doesn't even look like a Yu-Gi-Oh card, man. So it's really nice. I'm a big fan of these, and I'm glad that the prices are coming down. These are great budget options, by the way. If you have like $200 a month, you can grab one of these full arts, and you still have a chase with the original Blue Eyes, because that one goes for so much. Dark Magician, PSA 9, $1,300. I think that's fine. Maybe even a little cheap, to be honest. Monster Reborn, 500. That's fine. 300 bucks for this. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's unfair. This is a hard. It's a decently hard card to acquire. Red Eyes, PSA 9, $1,400. Yeah, again, I think that this is a little cheap in my opinion. I think the ultras should be at $2,000, but it is what it is. This is interesting. This is the Duel Monsters 2 BGS 8.5 Aquamador. This sold for $5,600. I should do a video on just Aquamador, because this card has so much history, man. Like, on the OCG side, there's like 3 different prize cards for this card. Like, it's crazy. We have WC4E. I think this is the most overrated set of all time. I don't understand why people like this set so much. I'm not a fan. I think it's overrated. But $200 is, I think it's fair for this. I don't think it's unfair. But I just think the set overall is overrated. PSA 9 for 10,000 Dragon. I like this coming down. I think that this should level off around $500 once the hype is like completely dead on these like, especially if it gets a reprint. I mean, it's pretty much done for. Blue Eyes Masterpiece 1,600. Interesting. So this is the lowest that we've seen on the market watches so far, and I'm glad to see it come down more. I think I like this at around $1,000, not more, not less. DB1 735. I just did a video on this. Definitely check it out. I think you guys would really enjoy it. I did a complete set overview. I like this set. I like the way that it displays, but I think that these boxes are too expensive. These are way too expensive. I'm beating a dead horse here every week. Injection Fairy Lily, $1,750. I think that's fine. That's pretty fair. PSA 9 DMG, $1,750. This hovers around $1,700 to like $2,200, and I think like $2,000 is pretty fair if you're buying like off of eBay and saving yourself the taxes and saving the buyer, the seller, the fees. Oh wow, damn! I didn't even see this. I would have bought this. Shit. 9.5 Black Magician. This is the Asian English. This is limited to 1,000 copies. Oh my goodness, I didn't even know about this. Shit. I definitely would have bought this one at $4,000, because I have the Blue Eyes. Oh my goodness. 4K, that's a solid ass price. Can't even lie. That's a solid ass price. Damn it. I didn't even see this. Dark Magician. Yo, Iris, if you see high-end Japanese stuff like this, shoot me a DM. Let me know, because I'll probably pick them up, man. I actually didn't even notice that this was live. Dark Magician, LOB Ultra. Like I said, you see how, like I said, that PSA 8, CGC 8, BGS 8 is pretty much just a raw card price, and we can see that reflected here. Unity, PSA 10, 70, like $170. I think that's fine. Like, these are hard to grade, so I get why somebody would pay that much for them. 450. Yeah, I mean, these are probably going to be the most expensive tins as Damien keeps opening them. Yeah. Dark Magician Girl, PSA 10, under $1,000. Finally, if you recall on those market watches from like last year, these were like $1,500, $1,300. I'm really glad that they're hitting under 1,000 now, and I hope that they continue to fall. I approximate this around like $400 to $500 for a PSA 10, not more than that. Magic Ruler Box, 1,600. That seems kind of cheap to me. Definitely seems kind of cheap. 1,800. This is definitely cheap in my opinion. Dark Paladin, $200. Holy, that seems like a steal to me. Yeah, that's a steal. Damn. Right leg PSA 8, $250. That's raw price. Dark Balter. Holy crap, $500 for this? That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Oh wait, no, I think that's the best offer. I don't know. Rainbow Dragon PSA 10, 2,225. Yeah, that's fine. $300 for Flame Swordsman. Yeah, I mean, we saw some PSA 9 selling for like two to 300. So yeah, I think that's fine. Exodia lightly played for 405. That's fine too. Rocket Warrior PSA 10, 175. It's pretty much the same price as the tins, so I think it's good. Pretty much you open up the tins, you get a 10, it pretty much pays for the 10, and then you get a free pack opening, 5 packs. We have G3 PSA 9 selling for 400,000 yen, which is about $3,000. I think that's fair. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of these, so I think there's like 2,500 of them. We have this Shikishi. I'm pretty sure this is the same one that went on Heritage and then it got removed as not authentic. I personally would not pay this. I would not buy these unless they've been authenticated or I know where the original sources, like where the source is from. So yeah, I personally would not touch these. YuGiOh, what is this, a sell? $2,000, 200,000 yen. That's like 1,500, maybe 1,200 USD. That seems kind of expensive, but I get this is like a one of one, so it is what it is. And now we have AE Hammond selling for around 4,000 USD. Like 10 is a little bit more justifiable, but I still wouldn't pay it. I just can't fathom paying this much for freaking Hammond. Like, that's crazy. Maybe Raviel, okay, but Hammond, like Horus Horus Raw. This is what, like $900, $800, maybe 700 almost. That's not bad. I think this is a pretty fair price. Oof, 700 for Shining Flare Wingman. That's a solid price, right? For sure. That's definitely solid. This is definitely expensive. We have AE Frog, freaking 2,300 USD. Damn, that's crazy expensive, man. That's crazy expensive. Curse of Dragon, PSA 10, $600. But this is on Golden, so it's like, I don't even follow this website. So it's like hard to take it seriously. I personally would not use these as data records. I mean, if I was buying and I was trying to lowball, I would definitely throw up these. But if I was a seller and somebody brought me this, I would dismiss it. $500 for Monster Reborn. That's fine. Overpriced, appropriately priced, appropriately priced, appropriately priced, um, appropriately priced, overpriced, overpriced, overpriced. This is way overpriced. Holy shit! What? Why is this $600? No, this definitely sold for under this. $2,000. This looks beat though. This is not, I don't like this type of sevens where it's like really really nasty on the front. Like okay, you want to have whitening on the back, fine, but once it gets like this, yeah, that's I would rather just not even buy this. PSA 10 Exodia head, $4,000 to $5,000. I'm guessing. Solid price for sure. PSA 8 $2,600 solid. LP LOB blue eyes, no LOB red eyes, $700. Yeah, I think it's okay. I think it's a little bit high, but I understand why. Um, this is interesting. Chaos Sorcerer PSA 9 sold for um, $500. That's insane. 700 for Master Collection Volume 2. I think that's a little bit high. Like I would like this more around like 600, but it's like we're splitting hairs at $100 difference. This is interesting. We have a Phantom Darkness First Edition booster box, sold for $7,500. I mean, I rate this card at like what? Like it's not a card. Sorry, I rate this box at like $5,000 to $6,000. I think 7,500 is a little bit a lot. There's just not enough in there. There's not enough gas to justify. Like rarity is just not enough. Only like you need to have more than that. 550, that's fine. Holy shit, this tin is so man. I remember when I sold these for like $200 when I got them. Oh, damn it, man. Who would have thought that Stardust tins would go for like $1,250? That's crazy. Like there's one character that I don't bet against, and that's Stardust Dragon, man. That's what I learned. You just don't bet against Stardust Dragon unless you're betting against Stardust Dragon, because you can bet against that one. Dragoon PSA 10. We have $500. That's too expensive. $800. Too expensive. Poly PSA 9 $450. I think it's because it's faded. Too expensive. Morphing Jar $2,500. I think that this card is rare as fuck. So it's like I understand why it goes for so much and I respect it. This is one of the most respectable cards in my opinion, because you cannot get an alternative to this and you will never be able to debunk this in rarity. And it is an absolute masterpiece in terms of artwork. This is just a home run card overall, and I think 2,500 is fair. And I think PSA 10s are too cheap. We have Plasma Vice 10, $475. Is pretty much exactly what these tins go for. They have one pack on the inside and they have the Rainbow Misprint Dragon. And that is probably like the rarest TCG card. It's the rarest set card in the TCG. Like bar none, there's nothing that can compete with it. It's rarer than this too. $600. That seems cheap. Holy. But it's moderately played, so fair enough. 2,900 for Gladiator's Assault booster box. Yeah. I think it's a little high. I like this more around like 2,400. I think is more fair. Monster Reborn, 560. Yeah, that's fine. PSA 10, 710 for Ultimate Rare Dark Paladin. We will never get this card in TCG, so this is like the only option if you like alties. I think that this is not even a bad price. I think maybe, I mean, you could probably get this for cheaper, and if you do, I think it's a steal. Breed and Battle Monsters. This is the not for sale here, which is, I believe it is the more expensive, if I recall correctly. That's why this is going for so much. Um, definitely rare card, but this has a lot of counterfeits, so you have to be very careful. Dark Assailant, PSA 10, 750. Um, I like this more around like 500 bucks to be honest. But I love this card. I think it's one of the coolest tech cards in the game. Guardian Grawl, PSA 10, 400, that's fine. CGC 10 SDY. This sold for 2100 USD. Wow, that's a strong price. 600 USD for Red Eyes Black Dragon 10. That's solid. I think it's fair. It's fair for the buyer and the seller. SDK $2,000 PSA 9. So like you can see here that the price that you're fetching on the SDK is really dependent on how the card looks. Like this one, you can see it's incredibly clean. There's not a lot of issues, while the other 9 had problems with the corner, right? The top right corner. That one went for 1,300. This one went for 2,000. It's definitely a card condition thing with this card. It has a lot of issues with whitening on the edges. You have to be very careful. And I think, in my opinion, whitening on the edges should dock your card's quality, in my opinion at least. Here we have 12 tins of Duelist Pack Zane. So it's like $100 a tin. That's actually a pretty solid price, especially for like a tin that contains a pack that does not exist anywhere else. I think that's not a bad price. 600 for Blue Eyes White Dragon 10. Meh. 450 for Amatsu. Wow, that seems kind of expensive. Jesus. I rate this around like 250 to 300 bucks. So, yeah. And that's it. That's the last thing. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts, guys. Did you pick up anything from here? Do you think the market is correcting? Is it rebounding? Like, what's going on? Because it does seem like a lot of the prices are coming back up, or at least they're flatlining. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts. And yeah, I'll see you next one. Peace.